Hello and welcome to Inner Sense Ancestry. This is for the month of October, but in all honesty you can use this in any month, in any time, and once this technique is learnt you don't really need the audio. It's just something that can be used again and again, and this is very much what I would advise. It's an interesting story about how this technique came about. I recently spent some time with a Aboriginal elder, and he explained this technique to me and put a little bit of context behind why we use this technique. Basically, the technique is a meditation, a guided meditation, a very simple guided meditation. Shouldn't take much more than 5 or so minutes. But the teaching behind it, the philosophy behind it, I'll explain a little, and how and why I was actually with this Aboriginal elder. Coming up in around about a week, there's a movement that's happening called Extinction Rebellion, and this movement is related to trying to find a sustainable way of being. There's a lot going on in the world now with like pollution and destruction of our ecosystems, and basically Extinction Rebellion are trying to find alternatives, and basically the movement is using or facilitating magical space in the streets. I'm actually working with them, and a lot of what we're doing is using old ancient techniques to help energetically with the space of Extinction Rebellion. There's a lot of stress and overwhelm in this kind of surrounding, so we're going to be turning up and using our magic, so to speak, to help with the movement. So there's a lot of elders and medicine men and medicine women are going to be turning up and playing music and helping guide people through the process to make it very peaceful. So the goal is to have a peaceful protest, and last time it was very peaceful and very successful. I actually went myself, and there was not really any disruptions. It was like a festival in the street. So this Aboriginal elders come from Australia to teach people techniques to be taught at Extinction Rebellion for people to go out on the street. And I thought, what better way for me to share than to share with my entire list of subscribers, so everyone can try out this technique. So some of the philosophy behind this is human beings have our physical body. This is what most people know as the human being, and there's far deeper philosophy than this, but this is just a very simple outline of it. The teacher did actually give us a diagram. I don't have that, but maybe I can add it but if not, I'll give you a visual of what I'm talking about. If you can imagine a human being standing with their feet on the earth. What you physically see as the human being, but their feet, our feet, work as anchors to the earth and energetic lines that actually go down deep to the core, to the root of the earth. And this is us in our natural state. Then above us, from the crown, which is the crown chakra on the top of the head, this goes all the way up and infinitely outward into space, and it's a connection. It's an energetic connection from the below and the above, or to the below and to the above. And the issue that we're facing now, or maybe I can rephrase that, when we have this connection to the below and the above, we know who we are. We know exactly who we are. We know what we're supposed to be doing here. We fully present, fully in the moment. We don't destroy the earth. We don't take advantage of people. We live from a place of unconditional love, kindness, compassion. We know how to treat each other. But these connections can be severed, and I would argue that they've been intentionally severed, because once you sever your connection with the land and the heavens, or whatever you want to call it, what's above, then it becomes easy to be controlled. People can tell you what you should think, and get you playing some of these silly games that have been constructed, like the games of politics, these things that are not in service of us, our higher selves, our lower nature, and humanity in general. So if you find that you're participating in tasks that are not in service of yourself, then chances are that the connection has been severed in some way. And the way I was explained that this disconnect was in terms of when you go up to your higher self, there will be like blockages. So when you're going upwards, there'll be like these big, like boulder-like masses of energy, or things that are just blocking this connection, and they have a very, I don't want to say physical presence, but an energetic presence. And this is my understanding of the human body as well. Any pains, aches, suffering that's going on, whether it be mental, whether it be in the body, it's all just energy that's become denser and denser. And the reason why the energy becomes denser is because it's trying to tell you a story, and everything starts off very subtly. And this is why it's great to have a connection with the above and the below, because when you get a subtle message, you listen to it. When you're fully in tune and fully aligned, and you get a message saying, hey, you need to watch that right ankle of yours, because it's doing something. It's feeling strained. You probably need to take your weight off it for a while, just as an example. When you're tuned in to the above and the below, then you sit down, you give yourself a little massage, or whatever it might need to be, instead of keep on walking and carrying that load, and then the load gets heavier, and then the strain gets heavier, and then before you know it, you can't walk. And this is because we're missing the subtle messages, and then they become denser and denser, and sometimes the denser they become, it feels like the harder they are to deal with. But ultimately, at any time, in any moment, we can find inner peace, and sometimes the inner peace is not always as a result of releasing everything, but learning the lessons that the things within us are trying to show us. And this can take time. It's a process, but the reconnection with the below and the above, ultimately leads us to be able to speak from the heart, speak from that grounded place, or speak directly from the spiritual experience. So this is a standing meditation. This is all the philosophy I'm going to share, actually, just so you know. It's don't really need to go too deeply into it, and there is one more thing, actually. For this, we're going to be using a specific type of breath. So the first breath is to breathe deep into the stomach. Now, I would say do 4 seconds in and 8 seconds out. So you breathe in, you count to 4, and then you exhale, counting to 8. It actually doesn't matter how long you do. The technique is in the doubling of the exhale. So if you breathe in for 6, you breathe out for 12. If you breathe in for 8, you breathe out for 16. But 4 and 8 is something that's manageable for most, but ultimately listen to your body and what you feel is right for you. So the first 3 breaths are going to be breathing into the abdominals, then we breathe into the chest. So you just have to visualize this, as you're doing it. You breathe into the abdominals, in for 4, out for 8, 3 times. Then you breathe into the chest, in for 4, out for 8, 3 times. And just follow the guidance of the meditation. So, as I said a moment ago, this is a standing meditation. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a moment to stand up. Just find yourself grounding into earth. Just allowing the breath to flow naturally for now. Shutting your eyes. Rolling your shoulders back. Imagining you have some kind of weight in your left and right hands, so you're bringing your shoulders down. Now what I want you to do is take in a deep breath into the stomach. And then exhale in double the time. We're going to do this around about 3 times, but just continue until you hear my voice again. So inhale. Exhale. Just continuing with your own flow. Allowing the breath to return to normal. We're now going to breathe into our chest. In for 4, out for 8. We're going to do this around about 3 times. Just continue with the flow till you hear me asking you to stop. Breathe in for 4. Breathing in again. And when you exhale, just allowing a release to happen. Allowing the breath to flow naturally. Now I want you to focus on your feet. Starting from the head down, just imagine a line. White line, white energetic light, slowly pulsing from your head all the way down your spine, from vertebrae to vertebrae, splitting at the bottom of the spine, entering into the legs, all the way down to the earth beneath your feet. Feeling the earth beneath your feet, whatever it may be. Feeling the physical feeling of that earth holding you. Allowing your heels to sink deep. Fronts of your feet to sink deep into the earth beneath you. Imagine this energetic white light, which is part of you, slowly moving through that earth, going down, making its way past the mud and the grass, but physically feeling the mud and the grass beneath your feet, slowly working its way through the dirt, penetrating all the layers of the earth, solid rock, feeling the physical feeling of this energetic line working through this physical structure of rock, going to this crystal quartz-like layer. Feeling what this feels like, imagining your feet connected, allowing this energetic white light to work down all the way to the center of the earth, to the core, feeling this core of the earth, whatever this feels like to you, whether it be a ball of fire, ball of molten lava, or an emerald center, whatever the center of the earth feels like to you. Just feel this connection from your heels, your feet, the soles of your feet, the tips of your toes, where you are right now, making its way all the way down past all these layers of the earth, connected to this central point of the planet, of Mother Earth, knowing that you are held by this motherly, loving energy every single day. showing deep gratitude and appreciation and acceptance for where you are right now, who you are, showing yourself that unconditional love, compassion, kindness, and not expecting yourself to be any different, not having expectations, but just being fully, truly aligned in this very moment. And now, while keeping this connection, we're going to work our way back up through all the lines, through the center, past the crystals, past the rocks, past the mud, coming all the way up to the surface, the green grass, all the way to your feet, the heels, the soles, the toes, making its way up, this white energy slowly coming up, all the way up through the legs, feeling this connection to the spine, all the way up to the top of the crown. Now imagine this white light, this energetic white light shooting up through the top of your head. Feeling that atmosphere, feeling that connection. All the way up into the clouds, past the clouds, feeling the moisture of the clouds, of the sky, of the atmosphere, and slowly working its way up past the sun, piercing the atmosphere, seeing the stars in the sky and noticing that this white light is connected to everything, all the above, all the below, your higher self, which is the infinite universe that you were birthed from. Feeling this connection, knowing that anything is possible if you surrender. Figure out your why and allow the how to take its own form. Now I want you to trace this white line looking upwards, this energetic white line, and see, are there any things, any dense energies, any materials that are in the way, and in the way of you, blocking you from your higher self. And if there are, I want you to just imagine it dissolving, melting, exploding into nothingness. Knowing that you are fully connected to the above, to the below, fully stepping into your power, your sovereignty as a human being, knowing that this earth deserves you, and you deserve this earth. And when you are fully aligned to your highest potential, life becomes play. And now as you sit up in the stars in the sky, you can look down on the earth, see it in all its beauty. The big blue oceans, the greens, the intricate details and colours, seeing the sun from the perspective of the sky. It's a great big sphere ball of magic that we've been blessed with, and that we have an obligation to take care of. Viewing this earth, feeling that deep sense of gratitude, slowly coming down to this white line, this white ray of light just pulsating through every limb of your body, upwards and downwards to the earth, into the skies and heavens. Slowly bring it back to the body. Taking a deep breath into the stomach for 4. And exhaling. Inhale. And inhaling into the chest. Continuing with flow. One more breath. You all have the power to heal these ancestral lines.